and should I say political presidential candidates have been filing in their nominations to the Independent Electoral Commission, and so far we have witnessed several interesting candidates, and we are now down to the final person who is expected to file in his nomination, and that is the leader and flag bearer of the Democratic Party. So that is why we are now back for that final part of the coverage. Su ko defee rek mbokk yi ñu dellusiwaat comme niñ leen ko waxee woon gannaaw short break boobu dañoo ñëw pour war a continuer li nga xamante ne mooy coverage bi comme niñ ko diggee woon. Xam ngeen ne depuis suba ba léegi ñu ngi ànd ak yéen, waaye fan yëpp ñun ak yéen la li aju ci wàllu nomination si fii ci réewi Gambie. Dafa mel ni ñu war a dellu fale ci IEC jokkoo suñ ndaw yi fa nekk ñu wax ñu tolluwaay bi naka la ak lan la ñu xaarandi su fekkee ne kuñ xaar yegsi na ak wala yegsiwul. Well, thank you, Usman, if you're hearing me, and good to have you again on the line. Tell us what is the situation like on the ground. Okay, it looks like we should try to get him back. He's not on the line for now, but we would try to link him as quickly as possible so that he can tell us the situation on the ground. Binta, we are back for the final part of this nomination coverage.
It has been a very long week, and of course, now we are at the end of this thing. I think, like you always say, preach peace, let the peace flow, let the love flow among all of us. The next candidate, like you mentioned, is due to come up, or he is already there on the ground.
Absolutely. So we are waiting for him, but we should link to our team on the ground so they can update us and our viewers as well as to what is the situation like on the ground. Is the candidate already the IEC or not? And probably we will be all waiting anxiously to hear from him as to what he has for the Gambian people. I think that is quite very significant at this crucial time of these nominations, and I think we would be all very much eager to hear from him. But firstly, let's hear from our very own Usman Jatta, who is on the line, and the images on the ground is seemingly showing us that they have arrived. Usman, tell us what is happening right now. It looks like the final candidate of this for the nominations have just arrived at the IEC for the nomination process.
Nomination has arrived. That is the leader of the Democratic Party with the black and blue flag, and equally as well accompanied by his party supporters who are chanting his name and trying to encourage him as he gets prepared to face the IEC nomination team to submit his nominations to the Independent Electoral Commission. So that's the live environment here at the IEC election house in Carniving East layout.
Indeed, that's quite very interesting. Now, I think as we are now into the final part, I know as we are saying on the screen here, monitoring in the studios, it looks like he's seated, and I know the nomination process would start very soon. There he comes, and with his a crowd. So we will be back with you, Usman, later on. But for now, let's join the IEC for the usual nomination process as he submits his credentials to the IEC. So that's the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, Alajari Momarjai, sitting there, flanked by his deputy and other officials. So let's join him and listen.
Otherwise, we are here to be considered for nomination to continue the forthcoming December elections. And we are required to bring documents so that we can go through it and see if we are qualified or not. Can we have the documents one after the other, please? Submit them one after the other. These documents.
That's the live nominations happening here in Carnifing East layout at the election house of the IEC. And that's the final candidate for today's nomination, and he will be wrapping up today's nomination, being the final nomination. And tomorrow the candidates are expected to know their results, but before that we learn that the I conducting a press at 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock to brief the media about the nomination, and from there they would have a short review of all the candidates who've submitted their documents to the nomination team, and by 5 p.m. they would be announcing the results to the public so that people will know the ones that have been nominated. But from wherever you may be watching us, you're watching Eyeafrica live from the election house, and we are showing you all the latest details about the 2021 presidential nominations. And that's the last candidate for representing the Democratic Party, DP, with the black and blue flag. So anytime from now, we'll be hearing from the IEC chairman, Ali Momanjai, who will be addressing the candidate for the Democratic Party on his submissions made. And that's the live scene here, and it's attended by several supporters of the Democratic Party leader. That's it, and we'll be back to you anytime from now. And we'll be back to you anytime from now.
Mr. Can I have that back, please? Thank you. Oh, yes, this one is the supporting document for the properties and the you can read. That's the supporting document for the property disclosure.
Maybe watching us, you're watching the live nominations coming to you live from the election house in Carnifing East layout and it's your only Pan-African TV giving you all the latest details about the 2021 presidential elections. Mr. Bojang bidun keta lunkumbari mbati aketa last candidate of the Mialanko Natakala nomination filed IEC aketa Democratic Party the Nyaton Koti. Isemina for no more in Koto.
Baraka Bake, thank you very much, Mr. Usman Jata. Mbadingol katandala ko alla dinkra lomo alla lamora dinkra alla jibe dinkra e kafoda me ko Eyeafrica TV mbudun jibe rab dawda mbal kontona mino banko ko an banko e bantala mba falale ko Alphanson TV lam Eyeafrica TV kabona election house dam yalan ko tele marte carte bon carte kesola anin carte Kenya Gambia banko kan e ko kamala nino mo lam wata mi yalan ko nata be pour ko kolbra ka kumfa mi yalan ko atelkata Mr. Dumbuyati mi yalan ko atelon Democratic Party ti mi an koy ka fay DP e butun han sang afele sang tang anin IC ba jakar lon ka tandiko e musim fa nyalo nga fana milita fu nga ni nga mili bele bang fo ay bi fina ne bang e butu wo bi na senior e fele bina diam kam Mr. Kiaman fele diam mo butu Allah bay
You have your voter's card? Yes. Voter's card?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dubuya.
Good afternoon.
First, I can see in your documents,
Yes.
you are writing Professor Yusufa A. Dumbuya.
Yes.
Just to let you know that with election, we don't take titles.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and are you Yusufa A. Dumbuya or Yusufa Dumbuya?
Yusufa Dumbuya.
Which
Yusufa
one?
A. Dumbuya.
Now decide, what do you want us to put in our document, in our records?
Just put Yusufa A. Dumbuya.
We put Yusufa A. Dumbuya.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Here on the declaration form,
Yes.
your voter's card number should be card. This
Okay.
card.
Yes.
Not your voter's card. Your own voter's card.
Okay.
Not the serial numbers very clear.
Okay.
Yes. Where is the voter's card?
We can.
Just cancel it. Yes, Mr. Dumbe,
Yes.
your asset declaration has not been notarized.
Okay.
The seal is not there. So you want to do it?
Yes.
Please do it before 4 o'clock today.
Okay.
Campaign program, nothing is filled.
Correct.
It's okay because we are going to do campaign itinerary. But if you can put something better.
I want to be thorough as possible, and I want to do that later today.
Okay. Mr. Dumbia,
Yes.
I believe you are a party candidate. You are contesting on a party.
Yes.
Do you have any letter from that party stating that they are sponsoring you to contest the election? Party sponsorship letter. It's part of the requirement. Your party should write to the returning officer stating that they are sponsoring you to contest in the election. Can we get that before 4 o'clock today?
Correct. We kind of ambiguous because the Democratic Party, we're sponsoring ourselves. So if you mean a third party, I don't know.
No, the party.
The party itself. Okay.
A candidate for a party must have a letter of sponsorship.
Okay.
Today is the last day of nomination. 4 o'clock is the last
We'll get that in
time.
before
So can we get it before 4 o'clock?
Yes, yes.
Can you remove the word profit?
Okay.
Okay.
Question for 2-hour time so I can submit it with the rest of the paper.
You want to submit the rest of the papers? Mr. Dumbuya,
Yes.
do you have a manifesto
Yes,
of your
I do.
candidature for this
Yes.
election?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Dumbuya,
Yes.
you have not submitted a sample of your photograph to be used in the election.
We do have that ready.
You do have it.
Yes, but
Can you submit it together with the remaining papers?
yes.
Mr. Dumbuya, you submitted 2 samples of your
Correct.
symbol.
Correct.
Which one are you choosing?
On your right.
This one.
Yes, on your right. Yes.
Because on record we have touched that as your
Yes.
symbol. Okay.
Yes, I just gave you this.
you not mind to list the missing documents that you should provide before we close this nomination?
Okay.
One, take note.
All right. Go ahead.
Your asset declaration, you should notarize it with the seal, red seal, huh?
Yes. Notarize asset declaration.
Your asset declaration, you should notarize it with the seal, red seal, huh?
Yes. Notarize asset declaration. Content schedule. No problem.
Your party should write a sponsorship letter of your candidature.
You need that one to be notarized too?
No. It's just the asset declaration that should be notarized. And a sample of your photograph.
Sample photograph.
So your name now is Mr. Yusufa A. Dumbuya.
Correct.
So what we have is Yusufa A. Dumbuya. Let me just go and change it. In a minute I'll come back
Okay.
to have it correct.
Correct.
Mr. Doumbia there submitting his documents to the REC nomination team. And what we've learned from his submission is that he failed to present some of his documents to the REC, like notarizing his asset declaration with a red stamp, and equally as well submitting a letter indicating that his political party is sponsoring his campaign. And equally as well, he has to submit a photograph that should be used for his during the election time. So those are the three documents which he should put into place so that he can qualify for the nomination. And this is what is happening live from the IEC election house in Carnifing East. And equally as well, Mr. Doumbouya's name was presented as a Professor Yusufa Doumbouya. So now the IEC has made the recommendation, and they are going, he has agreed to, instead of going with Professor Yusufa Doumbouya, he will be going with Yusufa A. Doumbouya. Currently, that is the changes that is been made by the IEC nomination team, and anytime from now they would get back to Mr. Doumbouya. Now, Mr. Doumbouya has 2 hours to effect all these changes on his documents. That is to provide a photograph of him which will be used during the elections, and equally as well a letter that should be used to show that a party is sponsoring his campaign, and equally as well a list of his manifesto, just something out of his manifesto. So this is what is happening. Mr. Boja, nyingera kuti mi alonko akumata bake nyintembento Mr. Doumbouya fele amala kaitu dol fo nati. So IEC fele about 2 hours diala prior jang 4 o'clock prior ning kaitu nati pra la nomination o se lolo. Isi mine funo mole mandika kaunto.
Baraka bake Mr. Usman Jata anin timo molbel Amadou Binta anin technical department ngal be kontong ba farale ko Eyeafrica TV. Ni tembe nambe daminto wala kata Mr. Yusuf e Doumbouya te damialanko atel fela nyanandiro kala fengol la pour ka fengol fena miyanko kayto la fanna la pour kana katande aysi la ko afana molti miyalanko asulata ada hamen kum pour nay kayro soto aning anyaro ta bakatong ning gameno lanno so da wan kota minlal pour ka sama fanna dola e wolore barotema ay sinata fay ko e kayto dulbe miliyaran ko la miliyaran ko wolle ke da pati sembo pati la fanko sembo ko fanna men wala kada fanna jumati ni da pati ram pati en daga letro sabe kata niko e itelle be fanko di kan wolle telbe kodo di kan wolle telbe koma kata niko e kana kodo la fanna ko min pati le be itamande kan e budo kayto manana aning kayto do fanna be miliyaran ko IC wolni ka bari ko kaytol be pour be na wati kilin kono anin kam taka pour ka course nende wala AIC e montro wati fulal diala pour ka je ko wol sinano babudum jama balde fana bi je million ko mila kayto do summit babudum bi talan nani bi be kel lungo lungo mi yaron ko bi be kayto fel na do ni baro tema kanto ni wonten aka te fon be fon dabu ning nyoboro luwo kono nyoboro ngolon dala sidulonde bara manke semboti amanke fengo fenda be feerolti aning kamol kono do direct at this moment right now Gambia be wala fannato amanjer ni wasa wala e buto ay sibe diam wala ngata baye kon
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Honorable, my pleasure to acknowledge receipt of the documents you brought. Of course, they will be subject to public hearing tomorrow. Thereafter, I will let you know the status of your application.
Thank you. The meeting is open by 4 o'clock.
Yeah, the meeting was listed by 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
And good luck and God bless.
Dr. Device.
Thank you.
That's Yusufa Doumbia there, already submitting his nomination papers to the IEC, and he is getting prepared to face the media in a short press conference. So it's interesting out here as the party supporters of Mr. Doumbia show excitement and cheer up. So anytime from now, Mr. Doumbia will be facing the press. Let's listen to him.
Gambia, to see the Gambia you want. Now tell us, how are you going to address and achieving these objectives?
Of course, I would like to thank all of you here for being here. It's a warm day. I want to thank my staff, my mom here. I want to thank her very much. And I want to thank my campaign manager, Naso is here. Hell of a good job. I want to thank Yahya Jammeh, my political advisor. And I want to thank my Secretary General, who went all the way back. And I want to thank these people right here with me. These are Gambians. This is here. Serious problem that I cannot just in 3 minutes define the problem we have in Gambia. But I would redirect your question, redirect your question and answer one thing that is very, very important. That is your economic issue, and that is health care. That is an economic issue. If we deal with it properly, we will take care of employment issue in Gambia. A population less than 1,600, we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing for 53 years? And I ask you journalists, does it take 53 years to develop a nation less than 1.7 million? All of you will agree with me that is no. So also to address, in order to address, we talk about economic development. We talk about we cannot develop the economy if we do not, what I call, deal with the root cause of the economic issue we have. That's also corruption, which is by and large just too broad. And we're also going to take care of the corruption issue, zero tolerance of corruption, take care of the ineffectiveness that's in the system. Your country cannot be developed with this ineffectiveness, the structure, everything is ineffective by and large. So we have to deal with the system change to address your economic situation in Gambia.
Mr. Dumbuya, we understand that there are documents that you did not submit and you are given time before 4 o'clock to submit them.
Yes.
How optimistic are you that you will meet the required time?
Oh, the documents there already. Now, even they give me 1 hour, I'll submit it, all right? I want professionality. You cannot lead this nation when you start with ineffectiveness. So I don't want to bring in a sloppy document. And I know we are all in this struggle together. The young, the orphan, the poor, the women, all of us are in this struggle together. We want a better country for our people. We want a better nation. We want a nation where the poor can survive. Many of you come here, you don't have a breakfast. Many of you have orphaned the children who doesn't have lunch, dinner. So, so if you look at the system, it's not there for me to turn this question. Your electric system is out. So I could not get to the point where I can just produce this document. But hopefully your electric system is on, is back on. It's a matter of time to print those documents and get it back here. Yes.
Of the system change here. You made mention of the system change here. How do you intend to change the system, let's say, if you are elected as president?
Well, that's also a broad question that I can answer that with a limited time of 5 minutes. But I'll just make it general. Take care of the people and take the corruption out of the system. That's the beginning. And pay people. In order to take care of the corruption, you must also pay people. Gambia, start paying people.
So, Mr. Dumbuya, yes. I understand that you have been going out and coming to the country. So, how do you intend to deal with your dual citizenship?
Well, I have always, half of it is a personal question, but half of it is a duty to the Gambian people to know who I am. I've been in this country for a while, but like many of them, the leaders who are contesting, they're going back and forward. But let me tell you one of the reasons why I went out, all right? I just went and I have a conversation with, I'm not going to mention their name, the people who matter, and that is the people in Saudi Arabia. Some people, we didn't meet in Saudi Arabia, we meet some places in Africa, and we have a conversation, a solid conversation, that in 2 years, I'm working for you, that everywhere in Gambia will light up, even in Jahal Pachar, in Baribu. You vote for me or not, it's time to bring reality in Gambian politics. In 2 years, Dumbuya will have 24-hour electricity system. I've already have this agreement with the people. Another surprising thing I will have, that I already have agreement with these people, is housing. Oh boy, the people. What is wrong with our system? That the poor have no place in this system. You have people now, I call them the predatory loaning people. the system. You have, let's take an example here, where you have to get in an apartment, you have to pay 6 months ahead or 12 months ahead. Many of our people cannot afford this. When are we going to tackle this? This is an economic issue that I intend to take. So I went back out there, I have an agreement with them. I'm going to build 4,000 affordable housing each year for Gambians. You vote for me or not, I'm here to develop the nation, and I'm not joking about it.
Mr. Dumbia, do you have a dual citizenship or not?
We're seeing that your party slogan is saying Dumbuya in power, women in power.
Yes.
Can you please tell us what concrete plans do you have to uplift
the masses of the Gambian people to greater economic prosperity? That's your question. Well, look behind me. I just don't preach. I just don't dance. I just do the solution, all right? This is why, with Gambian money, with their support or not, I went out foreign policy to secure affordable housing for the Gambian. I went out to secure 2-year Dumbuya will have Gambia light up 24-hour electricity. Wait, all right?
But Dumbia, you still did not clarify the dual citizenship issue. Could you please clarify? Because it is one of the IEC requirements.
Well, you know, I'll come back to that. But let me, the women issue is personal to me. Poverty. My mom worked in the rice field, waiting for my dad. 20 good years. My mother was young, grew old, my father studying out there. I am the victim of that. My mother died poor. Here I am today. So this is personal issue to me. Look at these women, single women. Husband died. The past administration have abused so many things. So I'm here for women. This is why in my administration, right now in my political party, 60% of them, women man this high important position, and I intend to carry that. Women in power, Dumbia in power, 50-50, equality in our government.
Thank you.
Nominations as far as the 2021 presidential elections is concerned. And of course, Professor Yusuf Dumbe is the last in presidential aspirant to file in his nomination, and he didn't disappoint in his also, of course, in his comments talking to the media, and he have highlighted some of the things that he think he would do if he is elected in December 4th presidential elections. Quite a very interesting moment it has been. So we should be going straight back to the IEC and talk to Usman Jatta so he can help us better understand some of the things Professor Dumbuya have said. Usman, thank you very much. Every journey must come to an end, and we are finally at the final destination of these nominations, and we heard from the final candidate, that is Professor Dumbuya. What did you make of his remark? He also touched on some very pertinent issues which he intends to do if he is elected president of this country.
Thank you very much, Amadou, for having me on the special edition once again. Mr. Dumbuya being the final candidate for the nomination of the 2021 presidential elections here. Today, he has made mention of key important points with regards to developing the Gambia. And one thing Mr. Dumbuya made mention of is trying to make sure that the whole country across the length and breadth of the Gambia is electrified. It has 24-hour power supply. According to Mr. Dumbuya, even Jahali Pacha rice fields will be electrified if given the chance. Come December 5th, he would make sure that electricity power outage in the Gambia is a thing of the past.
Equally as well, Mr. Doumbia has made another important point with regards to women empowerment in the Gambia. According to Mr. Doumbia, 60% of his current party executives are made out of women, and he believes women should be empowered in the country. And according to Mr. Doumbia, the issue of empowering women in the Gambia is a personal issue for him, as her mother worked for her dad for nearly 2 decades. And according to Doumbia as well, her mother died poor, and that is one reason that motivated him to empower women in the country. Equally, he has mentioned of economic growth in the country, making sure that the status quo of people, the livelihood of people's livelihood are being addressed, because according to him, Gambians are going through very tough times. And he in fact said some came here. He gave an example that some are here without eating a breakfast or without taking breakfast. So it's quite interesting that Mr. Doumbia, the leader of the Democratic Party, is coming with such ideas.
Usman, quite very interesting remark there from Mr. Doumbia. He also, like many others, touched on the economy, the state of the health system in the country, zero tolerance as far as corruption is concerned if he's elected. And he also talked about, like you mentioned, the electricity supply, which is, if he's elected, would be much better, or there would be a constant electricity supply, which is very, very important. But one thing that we have seen he did not answer is with regards to his personal issue, maybe, if I can put it that way. That is the issue of his citizenship. He did not explain what is it that, or what he's going to do with regards to his dual citizenship issue.
Indeed, interesting, Amadou. It's like Mr. Doumbia is not trying to be very clear about his dual citizenship. He did not elaborate much on it, and he was at some point with regards to the dual citizenship. And with regards to that as well, when on point it's important for the nomination requirements. So that is why tomorrow it's projected to be a very interesting and tense day, because the IEC will be determining the ones that are qualified for the nominations. So it's not going to be an easy day, because with some candidates coming, and they are not presenting all the necessary documents required to complete their nomination. The IEC will be announcing the names of the candidates who have been accepted for the 2021 presidential race.
Did he submit all the papers he's required to bring along? Because we have barely 2 hours before the, the time bound. That is, of course, 4 p.m. local time, when IEC expect anyone who did not submit the required document can do so. And what is his situation in regards to that?
Important question, Amadou. As far as the IEC requirements is concerned, Mr. Doumbia is still yet to submit close to 4 documents, which are all vital, which are all important in as much as the nominations is concerned. He is yet to submit his campaign letter, a letter indicating that his party is sponsoring his campaign for the presidential race, and equally as well, he is yet to put a stamp on his accept declaration letter. So all that is yet to be settled. Equally as well, he is yet to submit a picture that will be used during the election day, so that the electorates will know who Mr. Doumbia is, so that they can vote for him. Equally as well, he did not submit a list of his manifesto. So all these are requirements, and one could say it's some may say it's a negligence from his side, because he is the last candidate, and how many candidates? Close to 20 candidates came before him. So if he was closely following the proceedings of the 2021 nominations from the IEC premises, I think he could have avoided all these. Even the leader of the People's Democratic Organization for Independence, PDOIS, came and submitted almost all his documents, and in fact the IEC made it clear that he is among the candidates who submitted all the requirements of the IEC. So I think this is something that is very important, so that in the future political candidates should be very mindful of such.
Across, I know the IEC have now the honor to do what is expected, because there are requirements that are needed, and appears most of them did not produce some of the, should I say, all the documents as expected, only very few, like you just mentioned. Now, Mr. Doumbia also talked about the issue of women empowerment, and also equality as far as his leadership is concerned. He promised to build a 60% women-led government if he's elected. I think that's also another very important matter or issue that's worth talking about.
Yeah, indeed, interesting. As motivated as he said, he is motivated by his mother, who worked for his dad who worked on the rice fields for close to 20 years. And according to Mr. Doumbia, her mom died poor, and he is a victim, and that is one thing that motivated him to make sure that women are empowered in the country. But I think in as much as the election is concerned, if you want to win the election, it is important to preach the issue of all-inclusiveness, because looking at our society, if you want to base your cabinet, your administration strictly on women, it's going to be something that is going to affect you. So I think it is crucial that he has the plan, he has the motive of empowering women on December 5th when he is elected into power. But it is equally as well important to calculate the risks to make sure that you have an all-inclusive government.
As we bring this nomination coverage to an end, I want to say thank you so very much for the great work. But before I let you go, what has been your standout moment as far as this year's nominations are concerned, as we head to the December 4th, 2021 presidential elections?
Thank you very much, Amadou, for that one. The programs presented by the various political candidates, we have seen close to 26 political candidates all filing their nominations, and all of them shortly after their nomination, they would all have a press conference with the media, and most of them have come with very brilliant ideas, very brilliant programs for the Gambia. And among the most highlighted programs is economic reform, to make sure that the country move to a different level, which I think is very crucial now that we're having such young minds in the Gambian field, coming with very brilliant ideas. But the bottom line is, Amadou, I think in as much as the ideas are brilliant, in as much as the candidates are young, I think the electorates have to be very careful, they have to be very mindful, and they have to come up with the right decisions, because this election is about them. As some mentioned, the election is about the future generation of the Gambia. So the decisions we make today, the decisions they make come December 5th is going to be very important for their well-being, for their welfare, as far as the development of the Gambia is concerned. So this is one beautiful aspect of the 2021 presidential nomination, that the candidates presented very wonderful ideas towards helping the country to move to another level.
wise words there from our very own Usman Jatta. Usman, listen, thank you so very much for your time and for the insight. It has been great for the past days. Thank you so very much. Here anytime soon. Thank you very much, Usman Jatta.
Thank you.
All right, that's our very own Usman Jatta there. Binta, it has been a long day, a long week, and we have almost come to the end of the coverage, and we heard from Mr. Doumbouya, who equally highlighted some very pertinent issues, and you know, that we think he can do better in terms of developing the country. He wants to see a better Gambia. He have given a brief history about himself and some of the things that he witnessed his own parents, and though during his childhood days, and now here he's a different person. I know we try to link to Nene Bojang and Monyang to finally round it up, but before I come to you, let's talk to Modou Nyang. He's on the line. Modou Nyang, ñu ngi lay nuyuwaat bu baax ci foofu ci IEC daanaka léegi moom mun nañoo wax ne what if bi okay, it looks like we lost him on the line, but we try to get him back quickly. Yes, what did you make of Mr. Doumbouya's remark with regards to his interest of leading this country, the Gambia?
What I'm surprised of one thing in this that has to do with his dual citizenship.
Issue, yeah.
This issue has not been clarified by him, and is something really important, as it is part of the rules and regulations.
As a personal issue, I don't know why.
I don't know why, the reason or something, but then there must be something that is, of course, behind that.
Absolutely.
But then
probably, but I know you will have to explain that.
Of course.
Probably because it's part of the requirement. But let's go back to the IEC. Monyang is on the line. Monyang ñu nuyuwaat la bu baax kon ni ma ko waxee woon léegi moom wateef bi àgg na ci ndong li depuis suba ba léegi ñu ngi ànd ak yéen depuis samedi ba léegi ñun ak yéen foofu ci IEC ki ñu doon xaar yegsi na joxe na kayitam bi di professeur Youssoufa Doumbouya moom tamit gannaaw bu mu joxee kayit yi ba pare jàkkaarloo na ak taskati xibaar yi am kaddu yi mu wax na nag lu bari ci lu mu yéene ci réew mi lan lañ mën a jàpp ci yenn kaddu yi nga xamante ne wax na ko foofu.
jërëjëf Amadou comme noo ko waxee wateef gi àgg na si ndong la si mbiri nominé ba beneen at bu neexee yàlla wala ba beneen 5 years bi ñëwaat yi si te jeex na fu mu nekk ni kii nag mujjee ko wala kii nga xam ne moo tëj lii di nomination bi nekk di professeur Doumbouya comme noo ko waxee moom tam jébal ay kayitam li nga xam ne mooy IEC bot moom na Amadou am na kayit yi nga xam ne manqué leen na ko te diir bi ñu ko jox pour mu indi ko dafa gàtt trop ay 1 hour 2 su gënee bëri 2 hours pour mu war a dem delloo si li def indi wala def print kayit yi nga xam ne lii di IEC laaj nañ ko te xam naa ne loolu dina si taxaw because su ko defut mun na koo yaaxal li nga xam ne ni lu bare pour mu bokk si ñi nga xam ne dañ war a nekk mbër si élection December 4 2021 Doumbouya nag Amadou bi nga xamee ne ni jàkkaarloo na ak ñi nga xam ne mooy taskati xibaar yi laajte nañ ko yu bëri mbir yi comme am ñaari kayiti réew ñaari kayiti juddu dual citizen comme niñ ko dee waxee loolu moom dafa daw correction boobu because boobu mel na ni daal soxalut ko because laajte nañ ko laajte waa ko waaye loolu daf ko tegee side daal di dugg si yeneen wane na ne tam ne xam na coono réew mi wane na ne Amadou leen tam moo si nekk lu nga xam ne li si jaaxal ne kon dafa mel ni réew mi léegi kenn mënul naataambe ne kenn mënul wax ne réew mi ay ger wala njubla nekkul di dox si li nga xam ne mooy réew bi ko corruption candidate si yëpp wax nañ ne bu ñëwee li ñu njëkk a xeex mooy corruption kon dafa mel ni réew mi di réewi Gambia according to candidate yi nga xam ne ñëw neen pour ut nekk président si réew mi ñoom ñëpp wane nañ ne mbiri corruption mu ngay dox si réew mi kon loolu tam leneen lu war a taxaw la kon because ñoom ñëpp wane nañ te tam foog ñuy wane nañ ne déggoo ak juboo tam nekk si réew mi Amadou because ñoom ñëpp li si ëpp si candidates wax neen ko ne ñoom bu ñëwee seen force neen fexee ba corruption wala lii mbiri ger mu jeex si li nga xam ne mooy réew mi kenn léegi nattaablewut soo fekkee da nga déglu ñi nga xam ne ñooy candidates si ne réew mi mbiri ger mu ngi fii because ñoom ñëpp daanaka wax neen ne bu ñëwee loolu la ñoo njëkk a xeex si réew mi nit nag mënul wax ne bu ñëwee lu muy génne si réew mi mooy loolu kon dafa mel ni loolu mu ngi si réew mi su fekkoon ne dañ wax na sax bu ñëwee loolu duñ ko fi mayee duñ ko toléré waaye dañ wax na rek bu ñëwee dinañ ko génne Doumbouya tam bokk na si li nga xam ne wax na si lu jëm si loolu Amadou.
lu am solo comme ni nga ko waxee wax na lu yaatu ci wàllum ger bi mooy njuuj njaaj buy am ci dëkk bi ak yooyu waaye tamit wax na ci wàllum jigéen ñi am na yéene bu ñëwee dina leen dooleel bu baax te tamit na leen boole ci li nga xamante ne mooy ci nguur bi moo taxawal 60% jigéen dina bokk ci nguur gi loolu nag li ko waral moo nee na ñi gën a sonn ci jigéen ñi bokk nañ ci te moom fekkee na wala gis na waajuram bu jigéen nu mu doon sonnee ci faro yi ci naako yi ak yooyu te moom tey kooku daanaka ba mu jógee fii ci coono la nekkoon moom tey yàlla am na lim ko may moo tax mu bëgg a taxaw jigéen ñi foog naa ne loolu tamit li am solo la pour ñu wax ci loolu.
Amadou lu am solo la wax te mu joxe ci exemple fu daw yaram si yaayam comme nu mu doon béyee maalo si foro yi di dundal kii nga xam ne mooy papaam wax joxe na exemple si loolu kooku ba pare itam si parti mi itam wane na ne ku bàyyi xel jigéen la because soo bàyyi xel political advice am ñi nga xam ne ñooy campagne manager am ñu laal yëpp ak ñu taxaw si gannaawam yëpp jigéen la ba wane na sax moom bu ñëwee nguuram dina gis ne jigéen ak góor dinañ yem dina nekk 60% wala ne mu nekk li nga xam ne mooy 50-50 loolu nag exemple bi leer na bu ko parti bi wax dëgg yàlla ndomba tànk yi bëri jox na ko fi ñi nga xam ne ñooy jigéen te dafa mel ni sax ñu ko soraawoon ba pare tam joxe exemple si yaayam nu mu doon soone kon ko ak num parti bi nu mu fi jiitale ay jigéen nit mun na nangul ne moom bu ñëwoon bu fekkee lu wax génnu si dina dooleel li nga xam ne mooy jigéen te jigéen nag Amadou ñu dara doole leen si réew because den dee jàpp si li nga xam ne mooy jàmmi réew li nga xam ne mooy économique réew because tey Amadou réew mi di Gambia soo xëyee fajar jigéen ñi nga dee gën a fekk si tali bi ngoon bu ñëw ñibbi jigéen ñi nga dee gën a fekk si tali bi ñi ut moto dem jaay ba ñëw fajar gi dem si géej bi dem si marché yi ndugi ñëwaat saam ko si marché yi di ko jaay ku ñëw December for war nga bàyyi xel jigéen ñi te lu si bëri si candidat yi ñu leen gën a topp tey soo ko doon compté Amadou jigéen ñi la kon jotu tam ba jigéen ñi tam xam seen boppa jotu tam jigéen ñi ñoom xam ñoom ñooy ñan ba tànn ku ñëw fal kooku war a ñëw nekkal leen fi waaye dañoo gis few ministers few directors rek lu si des ñi bàyyi leen tëgg mi ak fecc mi kon jot na jigéen yi Gambien si tam soppi seen taxawaay defaraat seen toogaay soppi seen gis-gis pour gis na ñoom tam dina am solo si réew mi den am cër si ba ku fi falu ñaara ñoom ñoo la fal te kuñ boot nag mun nga ñàkk a daanu kooku nag dañ ko war a bàyyi xel bu fekkee ne ñiy jiitu bàyyiwu leen xel ñoom ñu bàyyi xel seen boppa fulaa seen boppa wan kuñ fee teg ne boo ñëwee da ngaa taxaw si mbiri jigéen ñi because liñ fi war a taxawee jigéen bari na spécial Amadou ñi si kaw gi fexe ba jigéen ñi si kaw gi ñu bàyyi root mi seen ndox yombu den lu bëri lépp si seen béy bi tam ñu jàppale leen si bu baax a baax loolu war nañ see bàyyi xel si jigéen ñi den si mbirim paj mi tam bu ko soo demee si lopitaan bi jigéen ñooy gën a sonn ñooy yaay ñooy yóbbu xale yi si lopitaan bi ba pare ñoom ñooy ëmb ñooy dem si lopitaan si tam Amadou kon nag responsabilité bu rëy la président bi ñëwaat December 5th war a bàyyi xel jigéen ñooñu te ko nag ku leen bàyyiwul xel sa dox mun na yéex wala mun nga sa développement pour mu réew mi mun na tardé bu baax Amadou kon Mr Doumbouya wane na bu baax ne moom bu toogee Amadou dina jàppale ñi ñooy jigéen ñi te loolu nag feeñ na si li nga xam ne mooy exécutif am bi ay jigéen ñoo fa bari Amadou.
loolu am na solo su ko defee moom ñam balaa ñoo tàggatoo rek ñu wax léegi li des daanaka ñaari fukki nit ak li teg ren ñoom ñoo jébbal seen kayit ci IEC am yéene bokk ci jongante bi pour taxaw yootu toogu réew mi pour doxal réew mi. léegi fu mu nekk nii Gambien si ñoom la ñoo xaar fii ak ba ci ay waxtu lañ leen jox deadline mooy pour ñi nga xamante ne ñu bari ñu motalewut seen kayit pour ñu indi ko te dafa mel ni ñu bari ci ñoom manqué la leen si kayit yi nga xamante ne loolu la ñu war a indi ci IEC bi lan nga jàpp ne loolu moo war a nekk taxawaay IEC suñ di gisee ku mel ni comme professeur Doumbouya nangu ta addu ci affaire citizenship bi nga xamante ne ñu bari ñu ngi koo wax am na ñeneen ñu am lu mel noonu ban taxawaay la ñoo xaar ci IEC pour ñu ñoom tamit taxawaay bu mucc ay pour ñu motal liggéey bi parce que démb rek président Barrow def leen yóbbante kaddu te foog naa ne loolu war nañ cee mën a bàyyi xel bu baax a baax.
Amadou wax nga dëgg parce que IEC daanaka bàyyi si xel bu ko wax neen candidat bu nekk jox neen la lan mooy tax mu mun a nekk candidat son December 4 loolu kayit bi jébbal nañ ko candidat bi fi ñëw xam nga luwaay yi nga xam ne loolu la IEC teg kon defe naa ne képp ku nga xam ne nii rek samantewut ak loolu nga xam ne la IEC teg su boobaa lépp lu nga xam ne xew na si candidat boobu mun neen wax ne moom mooy li nga xam ne teg na ko boppam mbiri dual citizenship bi foog naa ne loolu du nekk problème pour IEC lijjanti ko parce que su nekkee ne yow da nga am bu Sénégal am bu Gambia soo war ne da nga dem delloo war ne mun a gi receipt bi war a tax régime bu war a tax ne yow nekkatuloo doomi réewi Sénégal waaye bu Gambie rek nga bu dee bu Gambie bi boobu soo indiwul identity card wala passeport soo loolu noonu doo bokk waaye daal lu ma gëm mooy ne rek am na lu AIC teg ay ponk ay sarte yuñ teg ne képp ku bu war a nekk candidate lii moo lay war te boobu candidate bu fi ñëw bu nekk indi sa nomination jotoon nga forme boobu kon li si des mooy ne dañoo xaar samedi te Amadou comme noo ko waxee ñoom wax neen léegi ak communiqué tan directeur bi ne ne ëllëg incha allah 5 o'clock press conference dinañ fi am ñoom seen mujjantali càmbar gi nga xam ne kayit yi nga xam ne ni candidates yëpp indi nañ ko fi mbër yëpp indi nañ ko fi ëllëg la ñoo def càmbar boobu noonu te 5 o'clock dinañ fi amal press conference kon am naa yaakaar ne ëllëg samedi incha allah dinañ mun a xam yan mbër ñooy bokk si jongante bu nga xam ne mooy ñëw December 4 2021 fële comme noo ko waxee ne kii di président bi démba ñaax na leen mun nañ wax ne sa tëkku na leen wala mun nañ wax ne xaajii na leen wala mun na leen wax ne tam digal na leen because nana leen bépp ku nga xam ne da nga bokk si member IC da nga war a independent mooy da nga war a tëggee ñi jaaxaan def sa liggéey si yoon def ko liggéey yoon am nu ko yoon santaane bañ a parlanto nee na nag yéen IC ak ñi fay liggéey yëpp yéenay référé nag dafa war a fier su ko defee players yi li nga xam ne ñooy mbër yi jongante ñoom seen xel mun a dal bu bis ba lépp lu nga xam ne xew na result si nit ñi dinañ ko mën a upset mbër yi seqoon jongante bi dinañ ko mën a upset président bi nag moo gaaral kàddu googu nag jaaxal na nit ñi lan moo tax président bi ñaax wala lan moo tax président bi dànkaafu wala lan moo tax président bi digal tam lii di AIC ñi te dinañ jaaxaanaay lan la gis si AIC ba ñëw jël kàddu googu noonu teg ko si ñoom wala digal leen ko ne nen tëddee njaaxaan doxal yoon su ko defee mbër yi jongante dinañ mën a upset ba any xew-xew wala result bu nga xam ne ni am na si élection yi nga xam ne moom la ñu amal December 4 kaddu bu am solo la bot askan bi tam am nañ si taxaw seetlu because mooy lan moo tax dafa gis lu dalut xelam si ñenn si ñoom wala parce que daf ne any member na nga fexee na nga nekk tëddee ne njaaxaan lu tax loolu tam nit ñi wax nañ ko parce que tam wax dëgg yàlla dañ dee wax ne independent electoral committee mooy IEC bi so bu président bi toogee bay leen digal wala bay leen dénku ne neen jubal neen jubal kon loolu am na leneen lu nga xam ne nii mu ngi si xeli président ak lu mu foog wala am na li nga xam ne nii gis na ko si doxalin ñi nga xam ne ñooy IEC te IEC nag Amadou léegi responsibility réew mi yëpp mun nañ wax ne jaami réew mi ak léppam mu ngi si loxo ñi nga xam ne ñooy IEC because dañ dafa am lu nekk seen ndodd lu nga xam ne lu diis la wante tam diisut su nekkee bëgg nga doxal yoon because kuy àtte bëgg a doxal yoon yéen bi diis na bu fekkee bëgguloo see doxal yoon wala bëgg nga see indi farfara bu fekkee ne da nga ko bëgg a teg si yoon rek àtte ko nu mu ñëwee diisul te loolu mooy en bu nga xam ne ni moom la IEC en kon gannaaw bi nga xam ne président bi ñaax na leen si te askan bi tam seen xel xaw a tey si lan moo tax président bi ñëwee ñaaxee leen ni si am ñaari xel wala nit ñi di ko waxantoo dafa gis lu mu óolu si ñii wala dafa am ñenn ñu mu óolu si seen mbir kon nag ñoom yaakaar naa kàddu boobu dinañ ko dégg te askan bi tam yàgg na leen wax lu kon lu si des mooy ne IEC mooy ne ñoom ñu jubal tëddee jaaxaanaay ku nekk kenn ku si nekk luy sa cër ñu jox la ko lu yàlla dogal nag su boobaa mbëri yëpp door see mën a ànd na lii la yàlla dogal su boobaa Amadou jàmm na ñooy si réew mi te loolu fu mu nekk loolu leen dégmal Amadou.
jërëjëf moon ñaa ñu gërëm la bu baax sant la ci taxawaay bi ak team bi yëpp foofu liggéey bi am na solo macha allah ñu ngi lay gërëm bu baax a baax tey di la jaajëfal di la wax massa coono ndax fan yii yëpp ñu ngi ànd ak yéen foofu tàngaay bi ak yu mel noonu waaye ci liggéey bi la bokk di leen jaajëfal bu baax a baax.
jërëjëf Amadou jërëjëf Binta jërëjëf tam ñi nga xam ne ni ñoo safoo Eyeafrica TV xam ne fii leen dee taataane seen xibaar yi wér te wóor Amadou lii mënul ñàkk foog ñu def ko parce que askan bi den yaakaar télé bii nii pour taataaneen fi seen xibaar yi wér te wóor lii xew si àdduna bi lii xew si réew mi ak si biir réew mi bu ay nit toogee yaakaaree ko si yow Amadou yow warloo bokk si ñiy nelaw warloo bokk si ñiy tëdd foog nga def sa àq ak sa yelleef lu nga xam ne moo nekk sa diggante ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo safoo Eyeafrica TV jërë ngeen jëf yéen tam seen liggéey rafet na bu baax a baax di wax gars yi ne rek mbiri nomination génne neen si ba yeneen juróomi at waaye dëgmal leen campagne ak li nga xam ne élection yal leen si ak jàmm waaye di leen wax ne rek Eyeafrica amal na leen si lu rëy loo xam ne ne incha allah lépp lu si xew rek si réew mi si gox gi si gox-goxaat yi ne leen ko digtal képp candidat bu nga xam ne ne lu mu wax ne leen ko digtal kon Amadou di jox gars yi dig daje daal incha allah campagne bu am solo bu am si jàmm
incha allah
ak élection bu am si jàmm jërëjëf Amadou.
jërëjëf di wax amin ci ñaan yi ci kaddu yi tamit am na solo moon ñaan ñu gërëm ko bu baax xam naa ne nee na Bojang ci kanam tuuti moom tamit bu ñu ko amee ci line bi ñu tàggatoo ak moom balaa ñuy lemas bi que toogaay bi yàgg na ak tamit Binta su ko demee fu mu nekk nii lu des ci programme bi daanaka jeex na ñu ngi try rek ñu seet na dañu am Néné Bojang su ko defee ñu tàggatoo ak moom waaye for the meantime ñu mun nga summarize ci soose wala ci mandinka li nga xamante ne loolu moo jot a xewagum ci professeur Doumbouya ak kaddu yi mu wax.
Assalamualaikum baɗigol biɗum candidate labaŋo mi yalon ko wole naata IEC la ñandulato wolem professeur Doumbouya te andu professeur Doumbouya yala kaytol dol di IEC kollale pour ya jibe ya kisi bari donc kayti dol le tuta min yalon ko amedi andu ye watole di yala fana ye kay ko ye batu namira wati fula na tambita nyina do man ding anyanta wo kaytol natilale ñim kulte mi yalon ko wole so tatanon je bari biring après wala man dan wala anin mol min yalon ko wolle be jeybe kibar talaji ani wol kaccatale ando ñimu kuwol lati ñinnem kuwol dolti mi yalon ko ye kaccaji ako ate molti mi yalon ko musol la ko pour que musol sembentu ya wo kita e kulti mi yalon ko important to bakele parce que aya jele abama batata nyamin andu am molti mi yalon ko birin abe dindi yaren abe keba yakan aya fango jele to bama batata nyamin ani wole kuluta ani wole wulta so ñimu kulti mi yalon ko laftale pour que mol ma ko
exactly o kumayata bakele Binta Néné Bojang is on the line, so talk to him so he can also tell us his impression and update, and of course on what Professor Doumbouya had to say.
Professor Doumbouya.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Néné, mol ma koy dorong Professor Doumbouya e kool minu yalon ko ay wolle kata aning journalist ol minu yalon ko wolle be siri mole je ground auto ye kool dol minu kata sa fo mol la man nin ka viewers ol fanan ya understand min be kere.
Thank you very much, Bintani Amadou. At this moment, right now, I'm fella ice. La bumba do dame ko la marta carte fa onin carte bonyo la banko kan e butung fenno mi yalon ko akumada bakala inte ka sanjulu len bar Binta nyabo ko fele mi ango akade wolo alhamdulillah rabbil alamin nga ala tantu annabi jayi e to momi nga kuma bismillahir rahmanir rahim fela nga kum fa alhamdulillah rabbil alamin e banko be damin sante mobe be damin mobe be lamor la sang comme Mr. Nya ya fo nyamin bar science member IEC tam ne wuro moy koma police wol bela ma kan wala mi yalo katandi ko kontano nen se wolo lebe kere ndal IEC Mr. Yuspa Doumbouya beda anata banket wolo ni ko katandi ko IEC la nyaton ko anyini nga katandi ko parti min be sponsor kan wala parti de mi yalo ko wole bele fanko ma fannala belbe ma ko kan fanko la Yuspa ne fo katandi ko IEC wolo fo katandi ko letero nyala bolo parti to pour katandi ko tele be sponsor kan o boron ko laaje nata nyini nga katandi ko tola fannala Yuspa professor mbika title ta mi yalon ko olam jambar yaron to jambar yaron mantaro ta kan bari la tola to mi yalon ko yafo mo la to men wala ko ako ala tamano Yuspa Doumbouya Yuspa Doumbouya abutun wo boron ko laaje minen kan jabiro wala ni ko katani ko Yuspa kam mimbe fo mo kan ka fo ko lebe banko kayta ben ko le abayla niaje Binta nin politician be mumu na de ka fo ko lebe banko kan nindo ma fo jada ke ndala fanna do sa fo senol fanna nindo ma ba senol fanna do sa fo ko balu wala fanna ninde ma balu fanna sabu ko wala fanna wala jola fanna bar min ko mada be wala ko ta naflo be de ka banko do ku gambe don be bala fere pour na banko fanna ke jonta wati wala ko mada wala sahata be be nenyi kam woto alama alen na tol be timmande Mr. Yuspa Doumbouya banke do fanna min folon ko musol la fanna la because ngalam ko musol ka da bakala musol da multi mi an ko ka tanti lo kono musolo molte media lan koy katara yaay kam mol noma musolo molte nel da kon ko wati be noma bare politician jama babe ni sita bi kana musolo hat ko tanke bare ade min tandi wolo nen ko ning ala ning kila so nada sita bota def moy kujama balle jam musolo ka fesi min ko ben katandi ko ala family wala kudol mi an ko musol tambida wala wol man kate nyabo kote ba tumando na se sirankam ate ba me kan wonin aya bunya aya horma aya musolo ke la damen ko musolo ta damen wodo binda kam to ko Yuspa ne banke anin kibatala fannala ayne fanna banke dunia mole bawo nga femo fem faje dunia kajibe katanda ko Eyeafrica TV wala biento nyinen karan jabiro Binta
Néné mole ya jele fanan kaytol dol bije min yalon ko imanketa andu ye wati dantangle diala bu ko say ngabe damin tenting ay 2 hours or less than 2 hours le soto pour ka kaytol provide imami ra nyin keta nasol ti ala karola
Binta sekeno nasola fandana because ne mole de mi yalan ko bi manke ay sila lum foloti ni mali yalan ko tonya e jarte pour ka banko tamani wala ka banko ka kuke banko wala ka londe banko wala ka mom million fulani fe muda pour ka sambia wala ka nyaton ke loni barotema ngamira tumo mina manga comme josa ka tan ko television la bundala wala media la bundaba opening itulu ka moyle ka tan ko nini ne kadana woto wonyande kelete wajiboti pour yo kul mute la nyokan janne bina jando fem manya na tulo koma maybe mo folol minna daban safono wol dollem bare ngomi an ko labanta wol manya na fen tulo koma because wol ka moyle lungolum ais la kiamono ka folo ko nini nyenda ka to koma jam foni koy ko ila tisato eni wol nyande kana wala mankita wo sa fonsa ko wo fonsa fen ka demande wala mune ke dalanda dalo bare kayti manya na mankela koma bidel asset lombang fola school kayto lombang fola passeport lombang fola ID card lombang fola pass kito lombang wol be manya na mankela kam do ko fem manya na mankela ye wati fulo min diala fana niaji be wati fulo sa fem fam boda jela woro binta nim batulo abe kala fenede mi anko dol fon le fam bonla hana IEC fam me tofo bartumando asaken taftalo beto mimbe kala wala ko samala enda koyla
mi yalon ko ama seneyande jonadi solye min tata ala banku din yato abuko ay banku din fulale soto wala nyinti ko Gambian and another nationality munem kuti mi yalon ko ay wole fam fo nyindulanto an munete la etebe o jiwe la nyaadi la ande be mune fala mole woto
binta yalon nim banku diya ka banku diya muta ka komen ka buruka atam fenati mi yalon ko isa gambe diya wala folota bajama babi je munane bika sonko la mamane baka because yalno ko be la nyene kan dinkira mi yalon ko pour ka sura ka kolele atot gambe no le bulo kon bar butum pour ina don ko mi dem american citizenship ko lamda ka buruko wonya mena si gambe yebulol le sigol be la nyokan itidan ini dat america bayta ka noje komi be no nyamento abunda ngame ninne ka sula koda ani ngata nda ko me yasun ko e bika la fi ko lamuda pour ka sembentiya bar min ku mara wala ni ko natan to nyato ita ka fayla banko man ni kol ka min fo ni ba fala fa ba tema bar kana fa tindin daro mi yalon ko to man don ni alam momanta be tilole be labanna wala kudo ni ba fala fa ba tema ye fa nemo kon
nene abarka bake nalon ko ni wiko be kono aketal bulu kulte mi yalon ko akoleyata bake bari bitum do ko ni wala nata nyola mbe pour ya fo mole ka brin ni nomination o commence anin sainte ma munem kuti mi yalon ko ya karang ato ando munem kuti mi yalon ko important candidate min yalon jeto because ijele be la moy kila
abaraka bake mbe kanyun dula batu bilo lungote lungmi yalon ko mbe sambulo mutanga mbulo dinyo nga fonyo ko abaraka jarama jarajaf nuwari mbafolo ko emete kati bimu kule mi yalon ko kumulun tangolti bawo ni mu sanjilu lati anu fengo felan ko sanjilu la manke ko min katande ko kabilo le kabeng fo sukonon ko le kabeng wala ka tunno mo le kabeng fo banko be le kabeng pour ka nyinni ke banko la woto bintu ni mu 40 bale 40 mi yalon ko manke wala 40 ro ban nim fana nin 40 nin safo 40 penno mi yalon ko wala kulo mi yalon ko ay mol be sulale mo be mi la moy kam jang afrika ne dunya be bi ni tulo lambo bulo ni sengol ni kungole ke lambo gambe la bi gambe tembera jumalto jumale nta jila juma nta selala ngamin correct jang wolo ni ko do kulal be la do ko kal bari media fanala IC la fanala kata sojarol police la fanala paral la fanala paral nim police ani immigration PI officer service yela do ko kajana perfectly yela do ko kala ko ndaka ka nyamin media lon ko mo wuli wulol nara janne Italy ko there are less than even 500 people yo mo wulwulo muta ye nyabu ilafte nyamin ye soto wara bindu ntenga jiko soto ko tumando ni ala sonda hani mune kata janto paral nita koronyol pour katat ko nimbem banku do ko akumada bakala ngajama bakarang mammi lono mbi fo ngol jonne mammi jono mbi fo ngojale mammi moyno mbi fo ngojale ngomwele abuda bifo o kumada bakala anim fana yaji betante kalo mayko ka kalo tiloro ka mayko moda ka diam fo montro mitan saba wala kalo tiloro ka diam fo montro mite dantang a bindani mo fenede mi yalan ko a ben banku do ko woro nga hamonin diko minta anin simfa minta pour ka contribute na banko pour na media la fanala min kara pan african tv Eyeafrica TV woro nim karanta balete mba folo molebi ko al jarama ala baraka kunyon tangolam
benum barala baake biblal ron jannim bal bulala laftale do yo fo mole ya so maray sarafule kanto pour mbadi won min yalon ko be sarafule mbadi sarafule min yalon ko be jiwero la pour tol fana ya understand munetata jeto
Thank you very much Binta and Amado ala baraka bake. Maran sorin ko da ko nangira Eyeafrica TV. Uga dingira kebe Kenyan coach zera ko dingira ke ka gore kebe maran na coach sede jamani ke kamma kunya na khirnde na nanti soron da soron be igatu nati ila jamani ke muduna na mbuguren kane ni du ko soronga di kaytun ku be gar hombe tirende ka kem mari nya hitanai hike ore jopa bismillah wa khempar alhamdulillah lenkane bidal lagare kebe ko tambe o suwa nyagali me kamma angana police nu ko ay sazan kunu seran suwa legene watini oda golle jopa mo gombe wagara golle ke khempe kem mo gondan Mr Yuspa Dumbuya ani ser lagare ke humbe gari lenki ada humbe ko kenyan ko allan dadu na jamani ke kenikam yagarunya ina sembenkin yagarunya ina kunya hasana ina kunya kanen gilonden alla de mandede kada moro won mo gombe Eyeafrica TV o sunere wodo Yuspa digame kam gwa Yuspa ka ko jamani lere ma ko kera ale ken ka to ko na ken ka hara ka otwa na jamani hille ma ko ke na ken mutuna buruka amalingo anyine Gambia anda place muna place kera sasa ko ngana nyanken dal nda jamal le ma ko kita America kera daga America alla dal lelle ma ko kita digo sanya nda buruka kenya gabe buran ta non burukana ka hingan himbe angana karni ampai karna kala kana nan karna maybe lakenga ken maybe ken hitanai ka humbe me kono gamenda kata sedem paki nyakunu humbe gani an kocenga ana gan kocen sedi o wasoron su noir humbe sugara ta hakka kewtu ko len ko ga sone me kam mo gombe diga meke alhamdulillah ma sallahu mo gombe sasa police sun sudi kan bangutwa edit karangutwa media di e karangutwa civilian di karangutu se su golliere asudi karen nyawtu o su daga do waye daro nyai o su daga do masala nyai o da meraga o su gollini o ngana kinyaranga ko o suna sa ka habe aga mo gombe lenki ani kota lagara ke kaga hombe konno Gambia an kotan kenga Gambia an kotin kay Gambia an koto suya o ga hombe nana una Gambia hay o maga sir bani hay yin kolla bani golle kelanda ten golle ne de an ngana golle manga te kambande wallahi ton anke bane ngara ten golle allanta ho golle mana to gelle menya wutu walla na ho no machine wuti nan dema ka ke dan kenya hayni kamma o yimbe kollam pay ka jamane kemal lenki dunna suwa gam golle ni ya maga sasa ha golle be kaga ay si maga golle ke magoto kumbe na ko wanya ken dabari on daga tam kiane diga me kay nan ko na ka dada na ngiri Eyeafrica TV live ko ti tompe ko ci sede ka ko re kebe ga kanifing ke dawo ga humbe ko ne kenya no soron su noire anga ta ko nan kanya wango hayni pana African channel os nan noire mana jamani ke hallay ot nan noire ka noire siri oda ko dome onyi dome anka Allah ndadu ngonyi dome kama mu ko mane me nakato inshallah ordinaire press conference ke thank you very much kanwari kanwasiri binta wolon kata nim badi ngol ko atandi ko sama ngame sama lon kul labati mi alon ko abekela ko press conference bo solo jang butung mobe ma jibe talti mobe mu do kulalti mobe mu talti
thank you so much Nene
binta na Amadou.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much indeed for a job well done. Thank you for the translation. It has been and yeah, it has been very interesting from the team down there. They have done a remarkable job. So finally, Binta, when you did ko hakamadi, Johnny Empari Hando.
I will use this opportunity to thank everyone who has been watching us from Saturday till now. You are the best. Thank you, and keep watching Eyeafrica TV. We are the best, and we will always make sure we bring you the latest of everything happening in this country. I want to also thank the security personnel who has been at the IEC ground since. Importantly, our team that has been there, both the technical team and of course our reporters who have been there, we want to thank you very much. Of course, have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you very much, Binta Jallo, and I must say, I must confess, it was great working with her during this time. It was really brilliant, partnership, I have to say. Thank you so very much for the work. And like he says, we have to thank you, the viewers, as always, for the pleasure of your company. You made us what we are today, and you have been there, from the word go to date. And we went well from Saturday to today. Everything that happened, you have watched it live on Eyeafrica TV. And of course, this, of course, we were committed to make sure that we bring you the coverage live. And like Nene said, of course, tomorrow the IC will hold a press conference, and we hope also, of course, expect to bring you that one also live, right here on Eyeafrica TV. But as we draw the curtains on these nominations, we look forward to the next one in 4 years' time, that is in 2026 or 5 years' time, whatever it is, for another presidential nominations. But thank you very much, and thanks to the entire team, the technicians, the production team down there at the IAC, led by the man himself. We say enormous thanks to you for the job well done. But equally here at the studios also, we have to commend the cameraman, the technical guys here, led by the problematic Musa and the entire team. But we have to say thank you for the coordination. It was indeed great. And until we meet again another time, thanks for watching, and keep watching our programs. Until we meet again, thank you very much, and bye from us.